that you feel the pain you feel, because it was real. Like, you don't feel that pain if it's a neighbor, if it's somebody that you don't care about, but it resonated a lot, I think, with me. But it's how to not be detached. You know,
That's what we discussed tonight.
yeah, that's like the humanistic kind of quality, the basic part of, you bring somebody into this world, or you help to create somebody. How could you look at them and be detached?
You see, that's where the good night again, everyone.
Hello.
Um, that's where the problem comes from because of our definitions, and we don't quite understand what we put in forward. A couple, man and woman, bring forth a child in the world. The woman goes through the physical and emotional and the spiritual with regards to the child. The man also goes through physical, spiritual, and emotional.
Huh?
However, you see, what's happening? It's
Huh?
not going, what we're speaking about tonight is not going to fit into your understanding.
I am here to understand. I
Yeah?
open
It's
myself to
going to be
understanding.
what is the truth with regards to who you are.
Okay, I am here.
What is accepted is that the man doesn't go through labor and doesn't bear the child. This is true. But there are also physical changes that take place within the man.
Physical changes that take place within the
This
man.
this is this is not there. So the actual change is not what the importance is. The importance is the relationship with the child.
Mhm.
Yeah? The actual changes which could be discussed in another forum. So the child is here, and the child is very much in need of love, the same way that you are also in need of love. What we tend to do is we don't grasp love and understand love to be something that is, we believe love is something that we hold on to, and we don't allow love to flow, and we flow with love. So we do a lot of things in life believing that love is a possession in many different areas of life. And because we make love a possession, we form attachments. We believe and we have accepted that attachment is something good until it starts to control our thoughts and actions. Then we realize that the amount of love that we put into something, we could also put that amount of hate towards it.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Therein is much confusion, much confusion. So there is a greater form. Love is not something that we can control. Though we try to control love. And it's in the same way we try to control love, we try to control the children. So what's happening is that we form attachments, and when we form an attachment, we try to control the flow with that attachment. Think of anything that you attach to in life. Do you try to control the way that you would put forward your best?
Yep.
Yes.
And then there's love, which is not interested in attachments, because love knows is something that is not controlled. Love is. So when we try to form relationships with children, trying to have a relationship in the same way that we would have a relationship with something that we are attached to, the relationship with the child is no longer one of pure love. It is one based on an attachment, which the child is not. Remember, when we function in the spiritual plane, and by extension, we function in an emotional plane. So a lot of things being affected there based on our understanding and what we put forward. When the child is born, the child is there, willing to be loved by us. The child gives pure love, unattached love. Think of the way a child would love you and the way you would love the child. Is it the same?
No.
No.
It is not. Because the child isn't using checks and balances and everything that we do with regards to how love should be performed. The child allows love to flow. The child starts to change the way that love is flowed towards the parent based on what the parent is provided. It sounds familiar?
Yeah.
So this is the way that we have directed ourselves to be the love that the child sees. And this goes on through many areas and factors of life. Any question before we move on?
No.
I have a question, but I feel most of it will get answered a little later, so I'll hold it.
You can ask the question because we are aware question is there.
Um, the child begins to change based on the love that it receives. If the child receives no love at all from one parent,
Mhm.
that parent has no interaction. In the early stages, and then the parent comes in at a later stage, is that love still pure because they're now interacting with the parent, that parent, or is it something that's already missing?
Because we are part of the universe and the universe is contained within us. There is always a flow from the universe to us and from us back to the universe. If a parent in any particular way is restricting the love that a child is receiving, the child is going to change. If the both parents, or in some circumstances, one parent is able to deliver as much love as possible to help nurture the child and keep the child in a particular mindset that the child is aware of who they are, the love remains constant. So what happens is that when the parent who has been neglecting the child and returns to give love at a later date, that child would have already formed the attachment and is detached from that parent in most instances. Follow?
The
You all can
child
hear
would
me?
have, yes, the child would have formed an
Detachment.
attachment.
Detachment.
Yes.
Attachment or detachment?
Attachment and detachment is almost one and the same because it's just the way that we try to configure life. And the child would have been introduced to that and would configure life in such a way. Now, if there's a parent showing pure love, even though another parent is not involved, the child will form the right mindset with that parent. But that parent will also have to guide the child to know that there's no need to detach from the existence that the child is aware of, meaning the other parent.
Okay.
Wait, hold
What
on.
we
So the present parent will have to teach the child or tell the child to not form a detachment from the absent parent.
I don't think they'll have to tell
with
them anything. I think they will have to
you,
live in such a way with the child. Mm.
one of the major errors that we make in life is that we tend to look at the negative aspect of life more than what we truly want. And because we look at the negative, we receive everything that we want because we only see negative. What we tend to do is we look at the attachment to everything because of the necessity of feeling. Understand?
No
Or confusion.
Hmm.
confusion.
We live our lives primarily on feeling. Is that so?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And everyone would be in agreement because it is fact. And because we live primarily on feeling, we give rise and full benefits, full everything to the way we feel.
Mhm.
And we try to justify our life based on feelings. This way we feel about everything is what carries about every single thing that we do, whether it is with things, places, or even people. Understand?
Yes.
Anybody want to deny?
You know, huh?
No.
Because it's the truth.
You-
That's the what happens is because of that feeling, and we have so many things that we associate with the way we feel, we are always doing our own personal judgments. So, where we would give the child love from day one, if the little baby looks upon us with a cross face for months and no smile, our attachment to what we feel that we can't make the connection with the child, you realize what I just said? Our attachment to
Attachment.
what we feel that we
Mhm.
cannot make the connection to the child. So you realize where the actual love is. Do we
Yeah.
realize?
The attachment.
The love is with the attachment, it's not with the child.
Hmm.
That's exactly what happens with everything. So we love what we are attached to. You're working and you love the job, but you're actually in love with the attachment to the job. And if things don't go well in the job, it shakes the attachment. So there's no true love for the job. It was all about the attachment. You meet someone, you're in love with this person, but it's really the attachment that you're in love with, not the person.
So when do you actually love the person then?
Because
Or the job?
love is. So you allow love to flow through you. So if your love is pure, regardless of what the person does, it does not affect you. You
Hmm.
understand that?
Yeah.
I understand that one.
So the objective in personal relationships, if you feel like you and the person is not a suitable match, is to just leave the person be and you be by yourself and be true to yourself.
The thing is, the thing is, if you are in a relationship with someone and there was something that you were to learn from the get-go, and you are operating out of the true self, the purest self,
Mhm.
you would function and do exactly as you can. You would do what you are marked to do. But what often takes place is because we are so focused on the attachment and the way we would like to remain feeling that way, following this particular way you want to feel around the person. So if the person is not in a good mood on a particular day, you are affected by it because you are affected by the attachment,
Hmm.
not the love.
So is that where you're
Love
supposed to
is
love in spite of anything? Just love.
that just love because that's what you are. You are love. So you allow love to flow through you from the universe, through you to everything. It's the reason why you can't achieve certain things or certain things come your way. The way that we form the attachments is where we have confusion, and it is not separate from our relationship with children, because
Hmm.
we reached a form where we were treating children as well as a possession.
Mm.
And if the possession no longer serves us, what do we do?
Want to change it or get rid of it. Sometimes.
Yeah. And if the child walks that way based on the mind of the parent, it's easy to go either way. Try to change it or walk away.
But when you say
Which,
walk away from your child, I mean I could understand walking away from a relationship, but walk away from your child, me myself, I mean, I can see how you might try to change your child, but not walk away from your child.
do you follow, you listen to any news report, anything? Is that sounding so far-fetched?
No, it's not sounding far
That
fetched.
people, but you won't do it. But there are so many others in the 8 billion around the world because they are not receiving what they want. This is where the whole confusion is, and the reason why we try to make the child suit what we seek in the attachment. What we seek in the attachment.
Hi, good night. I just wanted a little clarification because I believe the confusion that I might be having in my mind is the application of the word love, right? Because everybody has a different interpretation of that word. When it is you're saying to just love, then it come like you're putting your attachment to what love is. When it is you're putting out in terms of using that word to love. So I would more or less believe in order for me to show love, I had to just be. Don't really classify it as trying to show love, because then I would try to show love how I believe love
That's right.
supposed to be shown. I'm not sure
That's
if
right.
it is I'm making myself clear, or if I explaining.
You are. You are
So
exactly. You are exactly spot on.
oh, okay,
Because that
so
is exactly what happens. We live by our definition of truth,
right.
and that's based on what works for us.
Mm-hmm.
If it is not against what we would like to achieve, we tend to believe it's negative.
Right.
So what's happening is that because we are love and we are here to give and receive love, love flows through us. Just like when you go to the waters, you go to the river, you put your feet in the water. You not If you put your feet in a particular way, the water flows around it.
Mm-hmm.
If the water is just trickling down and you put your feet, you block it, and it has to try to find a way around you.
Yeah.
That's exactly the way that we tend to treat love. So we try to claim love and define love based on what we would like to achieve. Love flows and love is. So if we allow love in the purest form, we will give exactly what we truly want, and we will receive exactly what we want, but we don't. We try to control it in a particular way. So
Yeah.
what you're saying is exactly the truth.
Okay.
So you would give love. Each of us here would love someone in a particular way. And until that person rattles our attachment, then we would decide whether we want to continue loving the person or not. And it is the exact same thing that we do with the children. Even though we tell ourselves because they come from us,
Mm-hmm.
they are almost a possession. They belong to me. I am responsible. I have to take care of. But in the very same way that we are all here with the free will to listen to what is being said tonight, is the exact same way that the child came here with free will,
Mm-hmm.
with the ability to make choices. And our responsibility is just to help guide them because they know exactly the same amount of things that we know. Yes, they know exactly the same amount of things that we know. cannot articulate it in that particular way. So we guide them until they achieve that ability. That's our role. And we allow love to flow through us in the purest form. That's the reason why you can love your neighbor in the exact same way. But we don't. Our attachment is formed, so we love the neighbor a little less than we love the child. And then we would look upon the the people like Mother Teresa and Jesus and everybody and say, I can't do what they were doing. The fact is, you're called upon to do what they are doing. Understand? The fact is, you are living your life. And what you put out and is returned to you, that's what you wanted. So you always make your way. There's no right or wrong way, but there is a best way. And the best way is recognizing that love is. So you allow love to flow pure through you. And in order to do that, to replace what you're thinking and exactly what Carla said, replace your thoughts and allow love to flow. We don't have to put our feet in the stream to allow love to flow around it. We just accept that this is the way that love is flowing. And you are always there sharing yourself with the universe that you could make the adjustments necessary in the relationship between you, the child, or you and anything else in life. Anything else in life.
Right. So, they said that we all receive love or we all show love differently, right? So, is it that, okay, you with the child or even with a spouse, you have to understand how they receive love and therefore show them love in that particular way, not the way you perceive love or you think that they should be loved?
If you decide to try that, would it lead to stress?
I don't know. I feel that that is in terms of
Oh, I got a
learning,
rough voice.
like learning who the person is and what they like and what make them feel love.
You see, that's the way that people say you have to do it.
Mm.
But what your true self, you truly believe that your true self would try to change who you are to satisfy someone else?
Oh, okay.
Your true self already knows that you are one with all things,
Mm.
knows that you are one with the person who is receiving love. And your true self knows that love is. So love flows exactly as it's supposed to be to the person. You don't have to try to control anything.
Mm.
That's how love truly is. But we don't give that to the children. We choose to give them love according. So we give them as much love as we can at birth, and when they start to give trouble around 2, we slow down the love. When they start to, really kick up around 6, 7, 8, we start to slow the love down a little bit, try to change it so we could put the love based on what we would like to see them do, and we start to mold them how we would like them to be, even though they already come here to define themselves the same way we are defining ours. The hard part is that later on in life, we are unaware of who we are and what we are trying to define in our own life, and it's going to be the exact same way for them because we were once in charge of them as we see it. Isn't that so?
Yeah.
This is
So, in order to change all of that,
mm,
we have to recognize that what we in is a brutal truth. You are in love with the attachment to the child. It's not the
mm,
child. See the child for who the child truly is. Love the child. Allow love to flow through you to the child. Not love based on a feeling for the child. And if the child does not reciprocate, especially at the teenage years, then you're frustrated. You don't know how to deal with the child at all. because you never allow love to flow through you. The love coming from here, when the honest truth is love needs to come from the center of who you are, your being, not what you're thinking. Your love is not about thinking, which is what you just mentioned. That we try to adjust our love based on, take relationships for instance. So I would show this amount of love based on what they are showing me. And I don't love these people here because they are haters. The fact is, that is not your business if they hate him. That's not your business. Let them hate. That's what they choose to do. And while they hate, the good thing is that it keeps you focused on what you have to achieve. So you don't pay attention to the hate. But what we do is we look at the attachment that we already formed, keyword, and because we form that attachment and we're not getting what we would like to receive, the feeling says, these haters, hate them back, throw them to the wind. So even one day, if the hater comes to you for support, for assistance, you would start to wonder, based on the judgment system that the attachment has, what should my approach be? For some, they would say, and for others, they would believe, my life, I have to do good. I have to do good, so I will treat them good. That's already a false premise. You don't have to do anything. What you have to do, you hear that? Silence. Just be in the moment and allow yourself to be truth. We have constructed ourselves upon a life that we have defined, and we are trying to achieve the best way forward. But the best way forward is we always use what other people has, they say to us, and what we choose to believe based on things that happened in the past. Take time to settle, go inside, because there's no better house than the one that you're already in. Take the time and understand who you truly are, understand how you love truly is, and then you can apply it. This love is not about, I have to put on this face around this person, or I have to walk on eggshells around this one. That's not what love is. And if I don't show this particular person that I care for them, then I am defeated and they may not love me. That's not love. All of that is being attached to something, and you're focusing on the attachment. In love, you just allow it to flow from the birth of the child, from the birth of the relationship, from the birth of anything. You allow love to flow. Understand that because love will flow, there will always be ups and downs. Always. You don't have to attach anything to anything. Your feeling is your feeling in a particular time. That's the way you feel. And because you feel that way does not dictate who you are. Say that again. Because you feel a particular way, it does not dictate who you are. That's just how you feel in the moment. And based on your understanding of self and your awareness of self, you act accordingly. Often we react because we didn't create our way by allowing love to flow and knowing what we want out of whatever relationship we're in, including the child. Remember, that child in this existence, in this era, that child may have been your mother some other time, may have been your brother, may have been so many other forms of friend. There are much more things happening. It's just that you recognize who you are. When you realize who you are, life functions differently. Question.
Yeah, questions.
I have a question. I don't know how to form it.
I understand the attachment and everything. So we at a place where this is new information for us, right? And for as parents, so many times we want the best for our children because we went through certain
Mhm,
things in life. I don't want you all to have this experience, and we think that we are doing that for their benefit. Like, I don't want you to have certain experiences because I went through the experience and I know what it is like. It is painful, and because
mhm.
I have the love for you, I don't want you to have to live that life that I live.
But as you're saying it, can you see what it is happening there?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. How do we get past that with the knowledge and stuff, or the information that we're receiving now? Like, if you're stuck in that position, how you get past that to just understand how to let the love flow and see and realize the child is their own person with their own life experience.
That's where awareness comes in, because you'll always have to remain mindful as to what's happening. You'll always have to be aware of what you are doing. So what that means is that you're no longer ruled by your thinking, but the true you is operating, functioning, and looking on as to what you are doing at any given moment. Am I loving my child through my ego?
Mm.
Am I loving my child out of the pure essence of who we truly are? There's a difference. There's a vast difference. The good part about it for everyone is that you, exactly where you are, is what you have given. And you always have that choice to make a difference in your life, and the difference that you make in your life will be reflected in life of others. All you have to do is just become more aware of what's happening, and you slowly reduce, you slowly mitigate the issues, not because you are trying to see what you can achieve out of it. Because, take for instance, a parent, just like Lisa said, who wants the best for the child based on the experiences that they once had, that they don't want the child to have. Yet, that child may have been here with a purpose to bring a difference and needed to go through a particular instance. What, you gonna stop that based on what happened to you yesterday? You're gonna make it difficult for that child. And both of you are gonna feel stress and anxiety and frustration. This is the way it is.
So you're just supposed to let the child go through whatever hardship or whatever turmoil or whatever.
You see, it's so easy to try to always fit new information into the old pockets of what we understand already. And if it can't fit, it's so difficult. That's not what's being said. It's not what's being said. Because if you recall, the child came through you. So clearly, there's something else. Let's leave the mentally thinking aspect out of it. Yeah? The child is here, physical body. Just like you are here, physical body. Is there something else that happened in a ethereal, in an unseen place, where awareness would say this child will come through to experience life through you? Could it be that something like that happens?
That the child came here to experience something you said
Like,
through life.
and came here through you. Is that
Yes,
possible?
Yes.
Yes, it is possible. So that means that there would have been an agreement in the subconscious realm, in the true realm of self, of who you are, there would have been an agreement. I just trying to make it as basic and as
Wait,
practical as
wait, wait,
possible.
wait. I am lost. So you're saying, wait, let me break it down like to see how if I, so you're saying theoretically or however, you before the child came into this world, there was an agreement between you and the child, and the
Yeah,
child came here
that's
to
I am just bringing a on purpose. I'm bringing uh I don't even want to call it a hypothetical situation, but I'm trying to get your understanding there. Yeah,
yeah.
go for it.
So the
Mhm.
child came here through me and in
Yes.
connection with me, we had a conversation, so to speak. And the child came here saying that I would have certain experiences and I was okay to let the child come to have the experiences.
Okay, let me explain it again so that you will understand. And for anyone who isn't aware, do you believe that you are here with a purpose?
Yes.
Is it the same for your child?
Yes.
There is an understanding that both you and child are here for a purpose. Is it?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you believe that there is a subconscious world?
Yes.
Easiest way to explain it. Do you believe that there's a ethereal existence, that there's a spiritual existence and everything?
Yes.
So is it possible that 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 physical being that you see in there, who is a soul with a physical existence, would have an agreement with you, the true self, that
Mm-hmm.
soul that you are?
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that there would have been an agreement and that you would create physical form for that person,
Yeah.
for that being?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So with that understanding, which is exactly what I was saying, so I try to create that scenario. It is possible that when this child is here and the child is already aware of what's happening, because children are born with that spiritual awareness.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is that as we grow, move from form to form,
Mm-hmm. You lose it.
we lose. Yeah. It's replaced by a physical existence. So what's happening is that when we are here longer and we already form certain key attachments that we believe necessary for our life, when the child comes and we would like the child to grow in a similar existence that we perceive for them, and they choose another path. Yeah,
Yeah.
how does that work within your mind?
It depends on what path they choose.
Good. It depends on what path they choose because you are the controller, isn't that?
Yeah.
Right. So somewhere along the line, you have completely forgotten about the soul experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
Yeah. And then you choose to be the controller of the child's life rather than being the mentor or the guide, because we associate the attachment as what is key in the relationship with the child. That's what happens. And that's what we need to recognize regarding our relationship with the child in order for us to have a better relationship with the child, because the child will always be looking to you for their understanding from baby. And as they go along, they would start to have independent thoughts which will be guiding them towards what they have to achieve in life. But still, the role as the guide and mentor, so to speak, would still be yours. But you can't define the life of the child if you are not tuned into the knowledge of who you are. You would be then defining the life of the child based on your past experiences and what you think life should be for the child. And this is where things start to go a little off. The closer you are to defining the life of the child based on truth, is the better the relationship is with you and the child. The relationship with the child. Because at the end of it all, that's not your possession. That's not your keep. It's very difficult to understand based on the fact that we have formed so many heavy attachments in our life, including the one to the child. And we believe that life is about that attachment, but we are not allowing love to flow purely through us to the child. We have definitions of the type of love that we want the child to experience from us. That's what we've been discussing tonight. And
I have a
anything that's
question.
sure, we love when questions here.
If the child, okay, the child is growing as a young child, toddler, and you notice certain attributes,
Hmm.
and you try to support those attributes,
Hmm.
and then and the child starts to get older and they could articulate, they might say, well, this is, I want to be this, I want to be that. And you try now to guide in that direction based on
Hmm.
what you the child says he wants to do. So
Yeah,
let's say somebody says, well, I want to be a pilot.
yeah.
And you say, well, okay, baby, one of the things you need to know as a pilot would be you'd have to focus on geography as a subject because that's what they will ask for you to be a pilot. And
Hmm.
then it becomes a case of, but why I have to do that? Or I
Hmm.
want to do music. And so you try
Hmm.
to position them or afford them the opportunities which would enhance or support what they have said they wanted to do. But then it becomes
Yeah,
like if you donging on them or when they don't okay, and they don't show the necessary consistency or discipline to work towards what they said they want to accomplish. So I find a
yeah.
little confusion there. Is it that
Okay.
you just then say, okay, you said you wanted to do that, and this is what effort it
No,
takes,
no.
and if you don't want to do
Let's
that,
look at
well,
a completely different way to deal with the exact same thing that you're mentioning.
okay,
Because key to it is that we are still trying to define the child based on our rules. Yeah,
okay,
our rules. Yeah. So the child shows some proclivity towards music.
right,
We have to allow the child to then define what area, what area of interest is there. Yes.
okay,
We have to also be aware that the child does not have the consistency in the mind that you have because that's a child. And the child will love it today and don't love it tomorrow.
okay.
Yes?
Yeah,
So then
that's
the next so then the next stage in the relationship is recognizing in the child himself or herself recognizing that this is what I want. You understand that definition?
Yeah.
This is what I want. It's as easy as that. So that decision has to be made. If this is the decision that the child has made, not that the parents has made for the child, if the decision is what the child have made, then the next stage in the parents' way is to help guide the child by showing the child that in order to achieve your goal, these are the steps that you have to follow. And while you're showing the child the steps necessary and supporting the child through the steps necessary, while celebrating the accomplishments of the child, no matter how small, with regards to the steps necessary to achieve their goal, and demonstrating through your love and enthusiasm for what they are doing that they can also have that love and enthusiasm for what they are doing,
Mm.
and bringing the support of others to show them that this is your true path that you want to do at this particular age, then you would have been giving them exactly what they need. How many of us do that?
Hmm, I think I would have been trying.
Yeah, I think I would have been trying to at least support.
What
Support.
is try?
Okay, well, for me, I sort of, I know I get frustrated. That's a good word.
That's an
When,
excellent word. When
when,
the attack
when
comes.
you said you wanted it, this is what you said you wanted. I could pick something else. I didn't pick it for you. You pick it for yourself. And then it's like you take a mental holiday.
Yeah, because what
So
we tend to believe is
it
that
made
they
me
have
look
the
like I am
same
like
capacity and they don't. They're learning. So they don't
uh
have the same capacity. This is not an adult you're speaking to. They don't know
so
in
even
that
when they
way.
become adults and they still carry on in that same mental
Then
holiday
then
phase.
it is no longer your charge
Mm.
because they would have been
Ooh.
managing their life.
So could I ask a question? Because this
Oh, say
it
that last
step
piece
into
again. Yes,
We
it's no
told them.
longer my
We said
charge.
it. We said from beginning,
Yeah.
it is no longer your charge. This is not a question of 18 years old or what society says.
so that's
This
what that
is
was
the
part
fact
of
that
my question. Where is it
this
no longer your charge? At what age?
that's exactly what we're discussing right now. When you are having a discussion with the person who you are providing love for and receiving love from, and they no longer want the love that you send, this is not charge does not mean you are in charge. It means it's no longer your focus to try to show the adult child what is best for them. Because as an adult, with the way that you allow love to flow through you, they would have had the correct functioning within their mind to make the emotional connection in any way in life that they choose to bring benefits to others and themselves. When they are building their definition of who they are based on the understanding of their parent, then they also have to try to define who they are when they get older. Understand what that means?
So
They have to
is it like
unlearn. They have to unlearn things then.
They would have to always, you didn't you do it?
Ah,
Let's be
yeah.
real here.
Yes,
but
yes,
Yes,
so
you
yes,
did.
yes.
Yes, you did.
in the spiritual versus carnal, adult is 18. Is 18 then considered adult? Because one of my questions was, okay, if your child is going in a positive way, you're happy or whatever, right? But if you have a child going into drugs, going into all of these other things, my question was, is that their past? Is that what they that's their purpose? How are you as a parent to feel, say, well, okay, it's okay, because that's his what.
Okay, that's an excellent question. And you know why? Because if you have a child who is engaging in crime and drugs and they end up going to prison for 2 years, 3 years, and in prison, they made such a difference, such an impact on the life of others in prison. And when they came out, There's a massive change in the way that the prison system and the way that we look at people in general came out of that. You stopping them from doing the things that they were supposed to do, that wasn't able to happen. Where would you stand there?
Right, we lost you there. You break up. Where would what?
Well,
Repeat that question. Where was what?
If you have a child who is getting involved, I'm using a hypothetical situation because
Mm-hmm.
I would like us to have a understanding of what we're discussing. If you have a child who is getting involved in drugs and crime,
Mm-hmm.
and because they are getting involved in drugs and crime, we dislike that and we try to stop them. But their key role is the fact that they were going to spend some time in prison, 2 years, 3 years. And while in prison, they made such a reform with regards to the entire prison system and the way things would happen in prison. And when they came out, such a massive change in the social focus with regards to reforming criminals, let us put it that way, and the way that we look at things throughout the system, not only in Trinidad, but throughout the entire Caribbean. Where would you stand with regards to what you were focusing on before, knowing that that change happened?
I mean, not. I'm.
Your laughter says it all. Your laughter says it all.
It's
The
because
fact
the
is,
after fact, the after is okay, no, but you see the before going into is the
that's
problem.
exactly what we're speaking about. That's exactly what we're speaking about. We are consistently trying to raise children based on what we feel that things should be. Remember, we discussed the feeling? It's not
Yeah, but
about the child, it's about the attachment that we have. It's always how we feel. Now, if you are focusing and allowing love to flow through you, see the child as your true self, then you will know what's happening. You know why? Because your spiritual awareness of what is happening, and we're not speaking any, as people are saying, any foo-foo talk, any talk like that. We're talking awareness, truth. Then you would know what's happening from day one. From day one. Because your existence and the child's existence is two separate existences. It's not the same. But your awareness and the child's awareness is very much the same. It's very much the same. So if you connect to the child on that level, which is how you allow love to flow through you, and the child returns that same love to you, then you will know exactly what you should do as you raise the child. The child will respond because you are raising the child in a particular way that the child will identify themselves and know who they are. So they'll make the best decisions because you are, in fact, making the best decisions.
right, but the best decisions, I understand that. You trying to make the best decision, they trying to make the best. And it's just this is just me trying to process this stuff. There's I mean, you hear that, you have people that are homeless, you have people that come in and it's different things.
Mhm.
We're not talking so much about the positive for the one time we were talking about more on the negative side. Homelessness,
That's not
drugs, all
negative.
that type of stuff.
We That's you giving an interpretation of something. If someone chooses that existence, you are going to say that's negative.
But that is the part that I can't. I
That's
know it. I
negative.
hear it.
That's negative in your understanding.
I
No,
think
but what I'm saying is, I understand. Like I've heard that that is their choice. Like people come back and based on whatever experiences, whatever they have to learn, whatever lesson
Case
they
in
have
point,
to learn.
Buddha
But
did the
it's just like
exact same thing. He gave up royalty. Yes, Buddha is a real person. He gave up royalty for vagrancy. Proven. That was Buddha.
And Wayne Chance actually went to jail and came out and reformed the whole way we look at prisoners when they're
Correct.
coming out.
Correct. That's
Okay?
Wayne Chance.
But yeah, but that's people you don't know. Here's the attachment. When is your child? When is your child? Talk about the attachment.
You don't want to see yourself
Yeah,
outside the
that's
jail.
somebody else.
I told you this topic tonight should have been a jarring one
It's like,
because
that's the
it
neighbor. There's
forces you
somebody
to
like
look at
me.
yourself. It
I
forces
don't
you
know
to
them.
look at yourself completely. This is the way that we are focused on the attachment more.
Ah. I'm sitting here and actually I'm trying to calm myself because I'm telling myself with this kind of thing, if I didn't have children before, I don't think I'd be able to want to have children now because so much responsibility.
No, when you think that they could
But
possibly see,
there
when
is
you don't
none.
know what their purpose is, and next thing the purpose
There-
is what? No.
you see how confused the whole thing is? And we just
The
use
thing
children here. We didn't speak about anything else because there's so many other aspects of life that because you are unaware of who you truly are, you just make decisions and then you find reasons to find confusion and frustration and all this and
nobody, but
everything against me.
but the thing about
But
it is the
there's
responsibility
no
that I'm
change.
the
You see
responsibility
that
that
way
I'm
that you're using?
referring to is the fact that there is no responsibility.
There's exactly. You know why there's no responsibility? Because it is the experience of the soul,
Yeah.
and the soul already is aware of what is going to take place.
Yep.
Yet when the soul comes here, you tell yourself, my mind is running things. So I make decisions based on how I feel
Hmm.
my interpretation of the world should be.
I
And
just
we
think like if children coming for, they need to come with some kind of tag. This is my purpose. I going to be a drug lord. So the
but
parent
for
can
most for
understand
most
from
parents
jump. Like
for most parents they are aware of their own purpose. So
But
the
Lisa,
child
you
come
didn't
up with
come
a
with a
purpose
tag either.
but then
only gonna
they moving
bring jealousy,
forward.
you know. Let's be real. If the child, you know, the child born, they cut the umbilical cord and they take out the around the finger. There's the purpose card. If your child born with a purpose card, you're gonna feel jealous. You're gonna feel jealous because it's not about the child, it's the attachment. Why I didn't come with this purpose
Some
card?
people might not want the child. Purpose, some people might not want the child. My child for the purpose card. He's a doctor, he's a lawyer, he's something, you know.
Yeah,
This is the drug lord.
you'll have more pain. How am I gonna raise this child now? How am I gonna do this? How am I gonna do this? How am I? It's not about
Listen,
you.
listen, that is a serious thing, you know. When my son was born, my mother said something to me, and I think a lot of my anxiety about how he should grow and what he should do and how he should be is related to that one sentence. And
Yes.
so I'm always looking to okay, oh, no, no, no. And even when I really sat long and I try to say, okay, well, you do you. If you need help, I'll be here. I still find myself reverting to the, I throw all the one eye. Now I'm trying to work on zipping my lip,
Yeah.
you know, without
I
throwing in
don't
a
know.
little part
I
comment running sometimes.
I know everybody enjoying this topic, but I don't know what we're doing for time, Adana.
Yes,
But we can pick it up. We can pick up this conversation again next week
again on
because I know
part two.
everyone could write down their deepest questions with regards to this topic because this is a sensational topic, and we could continue this next week definitely.
For sure. For
But
sure.
before we go off, though, I just wanted to, I noticed something that happens with me when I try meditating, and I wanted to ask about that really quickly. Um, Sometimes I'm meditating and an image or something would pass across my eyes. And I would jump out
Mm-hmm.
of the meditation. And depending on how, either the thought or the image, depending on how much I jump, sometimes I might even get a headache.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, why does that happen? Because you would want to sit in the thoughts and see it and just let it go. But it's like something just flashes and it kind of startles me and I jump. And sometimes when I jump, I actually get a headache to even try to meditate again.
Well, if you're meditating and you're sitting in a room all alone, and you see something flash across and didn't call your attention, and you responded, then you're not really in the deep meditation. That's what we spoke about before. This is the reason why you try to calm yourself and remove everything else. Because you will always have things that will try to call your attention. If you're meditating and you're seeing yourself, you know, somewhere off in the jungle or walking through some city or whatever, and you see something flash across, then you are in deep meditation. You don't have to worry about what flash across because it could have been anything and it's not troubling exactly who you are at the moment. If someone calls your attention in the meditation, then you deal with it in the meditation, you pay attention in the meditation. Or if someone calls you in the physical, then they're not really respecting the privacy that you are, achieving at that moment. Then you and deal with it. But what you should try to do is try to get yourself properly centered. So this is the reason why you would go through it slowly. So do 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and try to make sure that you're actually centered in the meditation, meaning that you're deeply set within it. So what you're seeing flashing across on the surface is literally on the surface. So you want to keep yourself deeply within the meditation.
Okay.
You follow? So you
Yeah.
can practice it. You can practice it this week and just do so. So you won't be spending 10 minutes, 15 minutes on the surface level. If you understand what I'm saying,
Okay.
you won't be doing surface level meditation. You really be getting into the meditation where you'll be able to actually receive information or present information. Yeah, I guess that would be the same for Bina as well. I don't know if she here tonight.
Yeah, she is.
Um, yes, so that would be the same for her as well.
Yes, I hear.
Because it's in the deepest that you would open yourself up to receive because your ear is no longer working in deep meditation. Your mind is no longer working in deep meditation. It is all the more reason that you could demonstrate that you are not your mind or you are not your ear. So you don't have to think about anything or listen to anything. You would hear, you would smell, but because you are in deep meditation, these things wouldn't bother you. You follow?
Okay.
So I want to say thank you tonight and write your questions.
Yeah.
Write them so you can bring them next week about the same topic that we only continue the topic next week because we only touch like 1/3 of the discussion. And the topic we'll look at after parents and children a lot more personal. So it's a little more, the greater will be on your skin.
All right, guys. So thank you for logging in tonight, and we will definitely